China's epidemic continues to spread, despite the CCP authorities' efforts to conceal it. But the decrease in human traffic in China is visibly apparent. This is the scene of fewer people in multiple Chinese cities. I've been delivering goods to North Korea for 8 or 9 years. I don't know if you bosses who have been here for over 10 days have noticed. Where have all the people who eat at food stalls gone? Even those who fight can see it now. Even those who burn beds can see it now. 14 years ago, I came to Guangdong to work in garment manufacturing. Back then, whenever it was a weekend or a small holiday, the streets were truly packed with people. Everywhere was crowded. The night markets would really go on until 2 or 3 in the morning. The streets were brightly lit. But now, by 12 o'clock, the night markets are basically dark and deserted. Before, renting a place here was incredibly difficult. Now, you can pick and choose. There are houses everywhere. This year's really strange. You hardly see anyone around. When I was back in my rural hometown in Jiangxi, even the rough villages were empty. In Shenzhen, look. You don't see many people on the streets either. Where have you all gone? Where have the real people actually gone? Right now, I'm behind Longhua bus station. Across the entire road, there's hardly anyone. Let me show you. Occasionally, someone with a suitcase passes by. Previously, around Longhua bus station and Haoxinqing, it used to be packed with people. How do I know? Because our shop has been here for 5 years now. Right at the intersection under the traffic light, the crowd was truly shoulder to shoulder, densely packed, like little ants. Right now, the crowd is still quite sparse. Shop owners in Beihai, Guangxi Ditati, and landlords in Nanning also shared their thoughts. It's a place known for its vibrant nightlife. Before, people playing cards all night were endless. You could hear it almost the entire night. The roaring of cars, the honking and the noise. And then there was the burning of charcoal. Young people pulling all-nighters. Something about 5 losses hands. Liu fell asleep. 8 horses. That clamor was incessant. But now, just look at the streets. How deserted it is, heavens. After 10 p.m., there's basically no one left. Even during the day, only a sparse few remain. Even passing vehicles have disappeared. On the streets, it's hard to even spot a delivery rider anymore. What on earth is going on? As a landlord in this urban village, we know the situation best. The days of landlords lounging around are gone for good. Nanning has also demolished some areas. The houses in the urban village no longer have tenants waiting for demolition, coming to rent from me. The economy is really bad now. That area over there is the Jiangnan bus station. Why is there barely anyone walking here now? There used to be so many people taking buses here. Across from Jiangnan bus station, there's a village here. This village is called Yangdangling. My house is in this village. This is the village entrance. It used to be so lively here. There were many street vendors too. The foot traffic was heavy. But now? Sigh. At least half the crowd is gone. I heard Nanning's population dropped by over 1 million. Don't know if it's true or not. This is the night market area of Sijime. Every stall is piled with vegetables, but no one comes to buy them. Not even for a few cents per pound. The whole market is empty. Not a soul in sight. There are no cars either. What's going on this year? Where have all you business people gone? Perhaps someone might say that the city is empty because migrant workers have returned home. But in reality nowadays, the countryside is very different from the bustling rural scenes of the past. It's already vastly different. Look how deserted the villages have become, like a wasteland. According to Eerily, there used to be over 12 households. But now only 4 people remain at home. The old and the very young. To put it bluntly, even if someone had a medical emergency and died at home, no one might even know. No one might even come to sell. They'd still have to carve coffins by hand. dig graves with shovels. Look at how it was before the year 2000. Back then, people were poor, but few wanted to go out to work. People stayed at home. The villages were full of people everywhere. If one family had trouble, 100 households would come to help, right? Back then, people were closer, more compassionate. Look at the villages now, turned into a wasteland. They've become hollow shells. It's not just our restaurants with no customers. The streets are empty too. Even the markets have no one. In the morning, I go to the wholesale market to buy vegetables for the restaurant, where people used to be packed shoulder to shoulder, so crowded you could barely move. Now, 99% of the shoppers are elderly, and this reveals a shocking fact. China's population hasn't just declined, but the young are noticeably fewer. January 17, 2025, China's National Bureau of Statistics released data, claiming that by the end of 2024, China's population was 1.4828 billion, a decrease of 1.39 million, compared to the end of 2023. It said China's natural population growth rate was negative 0.99%. From the above data, one can sense China's population has only slightly declined, but the Chinese people do not think so. The danger of population. There are no people in scenic spots. There are no people on the streets. There are no people in the shops. There are no people in the mountains either. There are no people in supermarkets, including no people in factories. In cities, we can't see people. In rural areas, we can't see people either. Where have all the people gone? I remember when the population was 1.2 billion. Everywhere was crowded with people. Everywhere felt overcrowded. Now, the national population is 1.4 billion. Yet, people are nowhere to be seen. Regarding this, some netizens have commented, I have a question. Maybe there just aren't that many people? Where have the people gone? Many have gone to hospitals. Although the CCP in recent years has tried hard to conceal the ongoing pandemic in China, in many hospitals across China, it is often overcrowded. Many mainlanders have told overseas Chinese media that many people around them have repeatedly experienced cold and fever symptoms. But because the Beijing authorities concealed the pandemic, some thought they just had a common cold, unaware it would develop into white lung and pneumonia, leading to severe illness and death among those who passed away. Not just frail and sickly elderly, but also many children, even robust young adults in their 30s and 40s. Many died suddenly. Mr. Huang, a villager from Xingtai, Hebei, told overseas Chinese media, from last winter until now, many have repeatedly suffered from fever and cough, very severely. Many young people not very old suddenly died. People in their 40s. Sudden deaths are relatively common. The crematoriums can't keep up with burning the bodies. Cremation is no longer mandatory. Burial is now permitted. He stated, we keep hearing from surrounding villages, young and middle-aged people passing away unexpectedly. This situation. Earlier this year, one was 47, 8 years old. Others were getting married. He went to help. The next day, it was discovered he died in bed. If you say older people pass away suddenly, that could still be natural death. But many are very young. Suddenly, dying of sudden death. Just fine the day before, no issues. Then the next day, suddenly hearing the tragic news. This person is gone. We often hear about people passing away in nearby villages. When mentioned, they're quite young, mostly in their 40s. Everyone feels it's such a pity. In their 40s. Officially, they have elderly parents above and young children below. Mr. Li, a villager from Henan, said, many have colds, runny noses, fevers, one after another. Hospitals can't accommodate them, passing away in waves. From pneumonia, heart attacks, strokes, in their 30s, in their 40s, many sudden deaths. Just inexplicably, people are gone. Can't afford cremation. Secretly buried instead. Every day, people are passing away. All young people. February 16, 2020. China's Sohu published an article. mentioning that just after the 2025 Lunar New Year, a supplementary report from the 7th National Census shocked the entire Chinese internet. By the end of 2024, the survival rate of China's post-80s generation dropped to 94.8%. The mortality rate exceeded 5.2%. This means, for every 20 post-80s individuals, there is one person forever frozen in this moment of time. The article points out, the shock factor of this number far exceeds any previous demographic conclusion. China's post-80s generation totals approximately 23 million people, now reduced by over 10 million people. If a guilty conscience needs no accuser, from the CCP's reaction, one can also detect something amiss. This article appears to have been deleted. Beijing authorities recently issued an urgent denial of rumors. As a result, many netizens became even more convinced. Some say, denial is confirmation. A netizen from Henan replied, it was already 5% in 2020. Probably 7% now. Before the pandemic, I still believed denials. A netizen from Zhejiang's grandfather said, the post-70s generation is nearly 11, post-80s, nearly 8%, and that was data from 4 years ago. So 5% is severely inconsistent with the facts. A netizen from Sichuan raised a question. The total birth population from 1980-1989 was over 220 million. The 7th census data still shows over 210 million, a decrease of over 10 million. So, did all these people emigrate? A Shanghai netizen added, Deep Sea won't even allow answers to demographic questions anymore. Why? Some netizens also confirmed the news about a large number of post-80s deaths. Those born in the 80s. Indeed, quite a few have passed away. Among the post-80s I know closely, 6 have already been buried. I know several post-80s individuals. People are gone. It's very sad. But the limitations of the funeral industry are even more telling. In the past year or two, the post-80s and post-90s generations I've sent off have been increasing. Among them I've also been observing. This year, I've been looking at the data. I said, why are there so many post-80s and post-90s? These post-80s and post-90s shouldn't be the main group among those who passed away. But, gradually, as I looked at the data, apart from the elderly who passed away normally, these post-80s and post-90s, those who suffer from chronic illnesses, and those who suddenly passed away. Heart attacks are the most common, although the CCP has the true number of Chinese who died from the pandemic. Always. But Tesla CEO Musk's AI reasoning model, Grok 3, based on Chinese people's New Year consumption data, and passenger traffic, GDP growth rate, as well as unemployment rates, calculated shocking figures that during the previous 3 years of the pandemic, China's population had already decreased by 150-200 million. Despite the CCP's official claims that now 99% are untaunted, but the public widely, the CCP is hiding the pandemic again. It's not but a COVID outbreak. Many Chinese people, about the sudden deaths around them, of relatives and friends, also have doubts. Beijing dance teacher Zhang Ling, pseudonym, said, the people around me, some of my students, they also had colds. This cold is particularly severe. This year's winter illness is very strange. They say it's a fake flu. Medical staff claim there are also cases of human metapneumovirus. They just won't call it COVID. But people still say it's COVID privately. It's just that on the hospital test reports, they don't show it to you. I have a relative, a particularly strong young man, around 30 years old, just caught a cold, suddenly passed away. Moreover, this wave of the pandemic has not only caused ordinary people to suffer the pain of separation and death. From January to February 2025, several celebrities in the entertainment industry also died, including 50-year-old mainland Chinese actor Zhao Lin. 41-year-old Golden Melody King Khalil Fong, 27-year-old mainland Chinese actor Liang Yucheng, 36-year-old Chinese crosstalk performer Xu Zhoucheng, and 38-year-old Chinese internet celebrity Yipin Xiaomon Derasta. It seems, no matter how much Beijing authorities debunk rumors, but Chinese people can see from the cities and rural areas becoming unusually quiet, as well as the constant deaths of relatives and friends around them, even the deaths of entertainment industry figures, that they can conclude the CCP government is not only hiding the pandemic, but also concealing the fact that deaths among young people due to infection are showing an expanding trend. Alright? Right. That's all for today's discussion. Please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share with your friends. Thank you for your support. We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.